Hello everyone. In the last video, we have seen that what are the deployment models in cloud or what are the types of cloud. What are those types? First is public cloud, the provider service which is accessible by everyone. Then private cloud, the provider service which is accessible within the organization. Then comes hybrid cloud, which is the combination of both. Now today we will look what are the service models in AWS. Okay. There are three types of service models in AWS. What are those? First one is infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. Then second is platform as a service. Then comes software as a service. There are three types of service models in AWS. What are those? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, we can write short form for it. IaaS for platform as a service, EAAS, and for software as a service, SaaS. Okay, what is our today's topics? Types of service model in cloud. And what is cloud? Cloud is our AWS. Okay. Now we will understand deep about this service model. Now let's assume that before moving forward, here we should know in infrastructure as a service what AWS is providing to us, and as a customer what we are doing in this service model. Okay. Now let's assume Ganesh is a client and he has one application. That application can be in any language. It can be Java, Python, or .NET. So let's assume Ganesh has application. The application is in Java language. Okay. Now this application he has kept in zip format. Now to deploy this application, he need one server. As we have seen that in data centers, we have seen that in data center we put servers. In that server there are applications. Okay. Similarly, now Ganesh's application, that application is kept in zip format, but he do not have server. So he went to the market and asking for the server to deploy the application. Now AWS came and telling Ganesh, what are your requirements? So I can provide your requirements, and I can provide you the URL to access your application. Now AWS has data center. For example, Ganesh has his application and AWS has data centers. In data centers, AWS will have different infrastructures. Okay. Now AWS has infrastructure in which AWS will have at the bottom. At the bottom, AWS will have network and data center. Network and data center. Okay. Above that, AWS will have virtualization. Above that, AWS will have virtualization. Then it will have operating system. Above that, operating system. Above operating system, AWS will have data and applications. Data and applications. Sorry, here applications. Okay, AWS has infrastructure. In this infrastructure, AWS will have at the bottom network and data center, above that virtualization, above that operating system, and above that applications and data center. Now AWS is telling Ganesh that in my infrastructure I have AWS management console, and in that AWS management console you can access your service, virtual service, the name as EC2 instances. So our first service in AWS we are looking is EC2 instances. AWS is telling Sai, I have one service to create instances, which is EC2 instances. What is the full form of EC2? The first service we are looking in AWS is EC2. The full form of EC2 is Compute, Elastic Compute Cloud. AWS is telling Ganesh that I have AWS Management Console. In that you can search for EC2 service in which you can deploy your application and do configurations. Okay. Now what is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud? Let's try to understand what is the purpose of EC2. It is a AWS service to create virtual machines. Okay. Now AWS is providing infrastructure as a service to the Ganesh, and service AWS is providing EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. What is the purpose of Elastic Compute Cloud? To create the virtual machine. Then what is the definition of EC2? It is a AWS service where we can launch, where we can launch EC2 instances, says, which are called virtual machine. What is definition of EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud? It is AWS service where we can launch EC2 instances which are called virtual machines. We will see EC2 in details, EC2 service in details when we will see each services in details. In that we will see EC2 in details. For now, just understand the definition of EC2. It is a AWS service where we can launch EC2 instances which are called as virtual machines. Okay, in simple words, Ganesh has one application, Java application in zip format, and Ganesh want to deploy this application. So for that he need one server. Now AWS has a service which is infrastructure as a service where AWS will provide the virtual machines called as EC2 instances where Ganesh can deploy his applications. Okay, now understand. AWS has deployed application in EC2. Okay, now in this in infrastructure as a service, AWS has network, data center, virtualization, operating system, data and application. Okay, now let's assume Ganesh has deployed application in EC2. Okay, when he deployed application in EC2, now Ganesh want to control data and application and operating systems. So here what is infrastructure as a service? What is infrastructure as a service then? In this, data, application and operating system managed by customer. Here who is customer? Ganesh. Like we are the customer and AWS will be our cloud provider here. Okay. Rest then storage, server, network, data center will be managed by AWS. What is infrastructure as a service then? In infrastructure as a service, data, application and operating system will be managed by customers. Then storage, server, network, data center will be managed by cloud provider, managed by cloud provider. Okay, now let's understand what is platform as a service. In platform as a service, data application is managed by customer. Operating system, storage, server, network, data center managed by cloud provider. Who is cloud provider here? AWS. Then what is software as a service? In software as a service, it is fully managed by cloud provider. It's fully managed by cloud provider. Okay. In this, in software as a service, data application, operating system, storage, server, network, data center, everything is managed by cloud provider. Okay. What is infrastructure as a service? In this, data application and operating system is managed by customer. The storage, server, network, data center is managed by cloud provider. Then what is platform as a service? In this, data and application is managed by customer. Then operating system, storage, server, network, data center managed by cloud provider. Then what is software as a service? It is a fully managed by cloud provider only. So these are the simple service models in AWS.